Welcome to the Hoop Reds podcast. Here with a new series where we're just talking to some of them are going to be former DMV guys, but just current college basketball players about their experience at the high school level and then kind of beyond, preparing for the next level. So no better person to start it off with than Darren Harris, 2024 graduate of Paul the Six High School, played with Team Takeover all 4 years as well. Darren, how we feeling, man?
I'm feeling good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So let's get started with the warm up. What's the best sports drink that you like?
Uh, I would say Powerade. I like drinking Powerade, like the blue flavor.
Okay. PS5, Xbox, or PC?
PS5.
Okay. Best basketball shoe and best non-hooping shoe.
Basketball shoe. I've liked playing the Bookers. Um, and then off the court, Jordan 11.
Hmm. Okay. Favorite meal, entree, appetizer, dessert, drink, all that.
I gotta say boneless wings. Yeah, I ate a lot of it, probably like every 2 days, maybe more.
From where?
Uh, like anywhere really. I have a couple spots like back home and then here, but I'm starting to like figure out the good, local spots around here, so it's definitely a good thing.
What's the local spot back home?
Pisano's.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just want to shout them out. All right. Favorite basketball environment to play in.
I love playing on the road, like those like those hectic road games. I like playing on the road more than at home actually.
Okay. What person have you met that you were in awe of?
Uh, I mean, being here, like seeing Coach K, like casually, walk around the building is kind of crazy every time. Like, kind of he has like an aura around him. I can't even explain it. Like he doesn't even look real. So I mean, I would say him, and then I met KD when I was young, like real young. I got to watch a workout of his. He was working out in Alexandria, and my uncle was helping him work out. So I went to go watch that, and that was cool. That kind of like sparked my love for basketball even more. And then Russell Westbrook, that's my favorite player. So meeting him was cool.
Hmm. Okay. You don't have many of these, so tell me about your first dunk.
uh, yeah, my first dunk. I was at Chavez. We were playing in like it was with my seventh grade year. I was playing with Coach Ray, and we were playing up in like a JV league. I forgot what season it was. Probably fall. And it was like a fast break, and I just started dunking like consistently. So I just went up on a fast break and dunked it, and everybody went crazy.
Two hands?
Yeah, two hands, yeah.
Two hands for safety. All right,
Yeah.
man. So not a lot of people know that your dad actually coaches high school basketball and both your parents played. So talk about what got you started in the game and kind of what grew that love for the game over the years.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was like you said, both of my parents playing it, and that's actually how they met. They met at a basketball court in Vienna, and I also grew up there. Like that, my parents would continue to play outside, and like after I was born and stuff. So I would always be around the basketball court, just shooting like when the pickup games were in between them. But also, my dad was a high school coach at the time, and my uncle was he was an assistant coach for my uncle, and I was always in the gym. That was kind of like my babysitting, like just staying in the gym, watching practice or watching the lift. And I really just grew up in the gym. And I think that kind of sparked my love for it all.
Talk about your little brother too. Let's shout him out.
Yeah, he's he's in eighth grade right now. Just trying to get ready for high school. He's growing a lot. He's just starting to like develop physically. And every time I see him, he gets taller and his voice gets a little deeper. So it's kind of scary, but I think it'll be good for sure.
What was the first time you beat your parents in ones?
I think my first time I beat my mom was like seventh grade maybe.
Okay.
My dad was probably eighth or maybe ninth, and then after that he stopped playing me. So
Hunter becomes the hunted there. All right. You talk your shit from time to time, but generally you're more of like a silent assassin type. Is that intentional? Where did you get that from? What kind of fuels you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's intentional. I think just like during the game, I'm thinking about a lot, so it's kind of hard for me to just start talking to the other team. But when people start talking to me first, that kind of gets me going, and like history shows, like I play way better when I'm mad. So just when someone says something to me or is a bad call, like anything can just like take me off, and after that, it definitely turns me up.
What is your self-talk like during a bad game? Because as a shooter, I think that might be a little bit different than some of the other skill position players. But what's your insight on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think just it comes down to like trusting the work I put in. Like I should remind myself, all the sacrifices I made to get to this point. Like the times I was alone in the gym putting in work when I know a lot of other people weren't. Um, and just like no, like as I got older, I think my experience has helped a lot because I've experienced a lot of different types of games and environments. So kind of like nothing was new to me, at one point. Just knowing like I've been here before and I put the work in, so just trusting that.
Let's do a self scout, talk about some of your strengths and some of your weaknesses.
Yeah, I say my strengths is starts with shooting, obviously. And then I think after that, I think I've gotten a lot better at like reading closeouts and like making the next play, whether that's like a pull up or getting all the way to the rim. And then I'm also a good connector, I would say. I'm a good passer. I can play with anybody. I do a little bit of everything. I defend, I rebound, I compete at a high level. I think I'm a guy that I think a lot of people would like to play with. And then my weaknesses, I would probably say just, being on the ball more, like creating my own shot, which I've gotten a lot better at, but obviously it's not like at the elite level. Uh, and then I would probably say I'm not the quickest guy, so, some certain matchups can be kind of hard for me, like little guards, which I've also gotten better at. But, just growing up, those are kind of the issues I've faced playing.
I think it was interesting. I actually was watching you your eighth grade year when I was still an assistant coach at DeMatha, and I told your dad this story. I was watching you play in the PYBL. It was either championship or all-star game, and I called Coach Jones afterwards. I was like, "Hey man, what's up with this Darren Harris guy?" He's like, "Aaron, he's going to PVI." I was just like, "Coach, are you sure?" And he's like, "He's going to PVI. Just leave that alone." Um, I think it was interesting. Your eighth grade year, ninth grade year, 10th grade year, mainly like a catch and shoot sniper, and just like you were pretty fearless taking some deep shots, which I think Coach Farello probably instilled that confidence in you to just let it fly if you had that airspace. And I think your junior year, you started, like you said, attacking closeouts a little bit better. Um, and getting on the rim from time to time. But also like I think your senior year, you were probably the most complete version of yourself that I've seen. Athletically, I think you got a lot better, a lot faster, more explosive, added some like upper body, muscle as well. Um, think defensively, like you said, I think you can be a pretty chaotic help defender too, because as a shooter, as soon as that person turns his head, that's when you're relocating to space. So kind of being able to see man and ball and cause some havoc off the ball, get some deflections, and just to the point where you don't lose sight of your man because you know what it takes to get open. I think that will just add to your value long term, in addition to some of the other stuff you said. But overall, yeah, man, really good job on that. What's a conversation that you had that shifted your mindset?
Uh, I would say after my junior high school season, um, that was the year we lost in the WCAC championship to St. John's, and then we went to Geico, and then lost there, and then I had a rough start to AAU that year, like my last AAU season. Like I feel like I was just at that point like burnt out. Honestly, I had a long year, and I was coming off injury from the previous year, and just felt like I was just burnt out, like mentally and physically. So like those first two UIBL sessions were like kind of rough. I didn't look like myself, and I was committed to Duke at the time, so obviously there's like a high level I need to play at and stuff. And then I remember Coach Farello calling me into his office and like after the second session, and like he was like, we need to talk, like figure this out. And he invited my parents to come, and he really just like went in on me. Like I wasn't expecting that at all. He went in on me. He was honest. He like broke down every part of my game. He said he needed to break me down to build me back up. And at the time, like I didn't get it. Like I was 17. I was like just playing basketball. I knew I wasn't playing like myself, but sometimes you just hear it from someone else and someone else you respect. And like that really like changed my life, really. I would say that because like after that, I think after those two sessions, I finished the AAU season out strong. I had a good peach jam, and then my senior year, I had a really good year. I think that really changed my mindset, changed the way I prepare for every game, changed my routine, like my workout routine. Like it made me take it that much serious because like he really broke me down. I almost left out of there like in shock, like almost tears running down my face. Like I'd never been broken down like that. So I think about that talk a lot and like how much it helped me for sure.
And you almost made it to senior year before getting that talk. Most of the time, most of the time it happens a lot earlier. So I think that's actually probably a good sign. Let's back it up a little bit. Describe your recruitment from middle school to high school. Because a lot of people, I think in a lot of different areas, they don't really experience that like we do in the DMV, as far as just these high school coaches are spending time not only evaluating you, but getting to know you and your families. Talk about like what you and your circle were kind of prioritizing when you picked PBI.
Yeah, I think I mean I grew up in an area like 20 minutes from PVI, so they were always a team, the local team for me that like always had the bet like Jeremy Roach, Brandon Slater, Aaron Thompson, VJ King. Like I grew up watching those guys when I wasn't like, watching public school. So I think that was always a school like I wanted to go to. But at the same time it was a little different for me because my dad was a high school coach and like, playing for him obviously would have been really cool. And like playing in the gym I grew up in, working out every day with people I knew I went to school with. That was kind of an interesting decision. But when it came down to the decision, there was definitely part of me that wanted to like play with my dad and have fun and enjoy public school. Go to school with people I grew up with. But like my dad and my both my parents knew like it was better for me to go to PBI, prepare me for where I wanted to go because I always knew I wanted to go to Duke or like high major, and they knew getting coached by Coach Rello and playing against the best every day in practice, playing national schedule, all that. It was an opportunity I couldn't really miss out on.
You touched on it briefly for a second there, but was there ever a time that you thought about transferring to Westfield and playing out your career being coached by your father a lot closer to home?
Uh, I wouldn't say like seriously, but after we won Peace Jam, a lot of people were in my ear about it, like basically just saying like, "What do you have to prove?" Whatever. But looking back, I don't agree with it. But it was definitely some thought. I mean, it's easy to think that when you have a rough stretch at PDI, you'd be like, I can go play for my dad and average 50. Like it's easy to think that. But not serious, not really serious thoughts, but just like what if? It would have been really cool for sure.
Hmm. What makes Takeover special? What made them the move, initially, and then also just kind of staying with them over the years? Because I'm sure other AAU teams try to slide on you at some point.
Yeah, I think like I said with PVI, like Takeover was always a program locally. Like I always saw on TV, playing the Peach Jam or like the 8 event that they had back then. They always had like the top guys, like Jalen Smith and like the PVI guys, like I said, Hunter, like and my dad was pretty tapped in like with the AAU scene. Like up until 5th grade, I played for my dad for like a local team, and then we ended up playing Takeover. And then they asked my dad mid game, like, "Is this your son? Like, we need him." I had like 40 that game or something, and like mid game they asked him like, "We need your son." And then after that, I played with Takeover until my last AU game. So, but like, yeah, I think the biggest thing was just the culture and like the coaching. Like now that I'm in college, I can really say like they really run a college practice, every single practice. Um, and I think that's really just makes them different. Most UIBL teams, I didn't know this, and so I like started talking to other UIBL players. Like they don't even practice, or like they barely practice, or their practices aren't real practices. And like I'd be telling them like our practices are like real college practices, like defense for an hour, and then offensive plays, offensive execution. So I think that's really sets them apart.
Coach Jamil is built a little differently, coming from the college game himself. So
Yeah,
I
for
can
sure.
definitely see that. You won a lot of games at PVI. I don't think you ever lost more than 5 or 6 in the season, I think, over the 4 years. What win felt the sweetest?
I would definitely the WCAC championship against Gonzaga. For me, that was like because when we won it my sophomore year, I was hurt. I got hurt like literally like 16 hours for the first playoff game in practice, so I was real bummed about that. And then the next year we lost, and then that year, I mean, really my entire senior year, I think that's really a period of time I'm always look back on. It was just like a special team, special group of people, and a special year for me. And like just winning that championship, and it meant a lot to me.
PVI played in and won a lot of, big non-conference games, mostly on the road. Was the team's approach any different at tournaments and hostile environments than it was at home?
Uh, I would say on the like for the non-conference tournaments, there was a bigger emphasis on like limiting the distractions. Like obviously when you stay in a hotel and you're all in high school, it's easy to get distracted or like want to sneak out or something. But we definitely had like more team meetings like in the hotels. We went over scout a lot more, game plan and stuff because there was nothing else to do really in the hotel. So I think that was the only difference. But I think mostly it was most of the same stuff.
What local player and player that you did play in those non-conference games do you respect the most? Maybe not in the moment, maybe now. But what guy's game really stood out to you the most?
Locally, um, for people like for the guys that are a little older than me, Elite Mac, and Jaden Winston, uh, both of those I'm really close with both of those guys. We're on the same AU team, obviously, and like I think both of them just they had a lot of resilience. Like they both went through a lot of adversity in their career. Like Malik tore his ACL, and then came back was had a really good junior year, and then his senior year they got Daquan. So he had to like kind of adjust his game a little bit, playing with another, ball dominant guard, and then he made it work. He had a crazy championship game against us. And for Jaden, I would say like he also went through a lot of adversity in a different way. Like the coaching changed at DeMatha. Like he played for three different coaches, I think. Um, and then he wasn't playing a lot at first. He could have just transferred and stuff, but he stuck it through and ended up I think he was first team all WCAC on my junior year. And I have a lot of respect for those guys. And then for younger, I would say I like Derek Dixon a lot. I like his game. And I like it. I just like his maturity, like on the court. Like he never really tries to force anything. And like with his ability, I think it's easy for him to try to force shots or force opportunities, but he doesn't. He just lets it come to him, and he's really skilled. Uh,
What about some non-local guys?
uh, I would say my sophomore year we were in Missouri. We played Milton, I think, and Bruce Thornton. He's at Ohio State right now. He was really good. He gave it to us. He kind of single-handedly like made the game close. That was like a wake up call because like he was committed high major at the time, Ohio State obviously, and like he really showed us like what a high major point guard looks like, and like I think it kind of helped all the younger guys on the team really put in the picture how good you have to be.
Talk about a time that you faced adversity and some tools that you used to navigate through that.
I would say like after my junior year, like I talked about earlier, like losing the Peach Jam championship when I was playing up, and then losing the WCAC championship. And then before that, I got hurt. And then, watching my team win it without me, it was a good feeling watching them win, obviously. But, we're not out there playing. It's kind of a different feeling. So for a minute there, like I didn't really win anything. And I was kind of questioning my ability. Can I really fit on can I play winning basketball? Like, am I the problem, basically? But my senior year, I think I handled it way better. Like, I didn't really believe in like, the cliche, like experience is the best tool.
Sure.
But I think at that time I really realized it was because I abandoned the PCM championship and I lost. And I think that really helped me the next year, I had a good performance because I knew what it took to win, because I didn't win it the last year. And the same thing with WCAC. I think just, experiencing all of that kind of taught me what it was to get there.
Tell me about your gym schedule. What parts of your game have you been working on the most since the end of your high school career, and what do you feel like you've added?
Yeah, I would say in between Chipotle Nationals and when I moved in, I was working a lot on like my body, like getting stronger, because I knew if I wanted to play the way I want to play against like older guys, it's gonna be an adjustment period. So just trying to get prepared for that. But I ended up getting hurt. Like my first couple of days down here, I broke my wrist, and that was hard. That was also a time I faced a lot of adversity, just because like I was so excited to get down here and put the work in and earn some opportunity, and then I ended up getting hurt. My second day here, so that was really hard for me. But after that, it took me a while to like get back in routine. After watching practice for so long and stuff. But right now I think I'm just focusing on like shooting on the move and really just like for my role this year isn't gonna be I'm not gonna be asked to create my own shot a lot or dribble a lot. It's really gonna be like capitalizing on kickouts and transition threes and movement threes. So just focusing a lot on my footwork, staying in shape. That's a big part of it. You can't really shoot at the highest of your ability if you're not in shape. So staying in shape and running a lot, focusing on my footwork, like I said, and staying on balance every shot.
Tell me a part of your game that flies under the radar or is maybe undervalued.
I would say my IQ. Like I think a lot of people when you watch basketball, a lot of people don't really take in like how hard it is for a lot of players, how much they think on every play. Like if I'm coming off a pin down, I need to read my defender, catch the ball, make a read off that. If I'm curling, popping out, back cutting, like it's really hard. And I got really good at it, reading screens and stuff, but I think I would say I do it at an elite level, moving off the ball and coming off screens. So I would say my IQ, like if you just watch me, you would say, oh, he's a really good shooter, really good scorer. But I think, IQ has a lot to do with that. And another part I would say is my passing, which kind of goes with IQ. But when I get double teamed or in transition, I always make the right play. I rarely, force a shot up unless I really feel like I can make it and stuff. So yeah, I would say my IQ and passing.
You're playing with another really good shooter in Kon. How have those shooting games look so far?
Yeah, we did a shooting game before I got hurt. Like when we first got down here, and I mean he's as good of a shooter. I as good of a shooter I am. I've never really. It's hard for me to give respect, shooters because I personally say like they're not. If I don't think they're on my level, then I don't really look at them. But he's definitely a elite shooter. Like it's kind of crazy. I think he's probably the best shooter I ever played with. And like when both of us on the floor, like in practice or games, our team like the percentage of us winning goes up because we can get hot so quickly. It's kind of hard to guard both of us, so it's gonna be really cool playing with him.
What parts of the floor, like physical spots, do you feel the most comfortable right now and the least comfortable?
I mean, I would say on the wings, probably the right wing, I feel the most comfortable because I'm a left-handed driver. I don't know why or how, but I just feel way more comfortable driving left. So driving middle, I think that really opens my game up a lot from the right wing. And then just obviously I'm a great shooter, so I can shoot from the wing. And but I would say the right wing because I can drive middle, get in the paint, maybe shoot like a 2 foot floater or pull up or kick out. So that's probably my most comfortable spot. And then least comfortable, I'll probably say um,
It can be
probably
inside the arc if it's that.
yeah, I was about to say the paint, like getting in the paint. I just need to like learn how to take my time a little bit more. Especially at this level, like the guards are strong, the wings are strong. So just taking my time and making the right read out of that.
Okay. Rank these three in order of importance to you. So game winning assists, game winning bucket, game winning defensive stop.
Uh, I would say number one would be a stop because that's just like how I've been coached. Honestly, like Coach Frello, obviously values defense a lot, and all the coaches like Coach Jamil, Coach Keith. So that would be number one, and then number two, I would say the bucket. Uh, for sure, that's probably a special feeling, getting a game winning bucket. And then third, I would say the assist.
What are some things that you value both on and off the floor, as a person, Darren Harris, and as a basketball player? Is honesty, respect, leading by example, vocal leadership? What are some things that matter to you?
Um, I would say, like you said, leading by example, and then also just like living the right way. I think, I believe in karma. So I think if you live the right way, if you, have the right habits, have the right morals, then, everything good will come back to you. So I just try to live the right way every day. And I know it'll come back to me.
Gotcha. So let's get into film and then we'll talk about Duke and then we'll get you out of here. How is watching film change now as a college freshman versus, before this period? What nuances are you looking for in shooters and what different things are you looking for in games, to learn versus, just watching for fun when you're a kid?
Yeah, I watch a lot of film. It was honestly hard for me because I watch a lot of basketball, period. But it was a little hard for me in high school to like stop watching as a fan, and watch it as a, student of the game. I probably learned that like my junior year. Uh, I started watching a lot of film, or if NBA game was on, I watch it more like to learn than just watch, because I love the game so much. But in college, I think it's changed just because I feel like you kind of have to be perfect in a way. If you want to get on the floor, if you want to have more opportunity, you have to be perfect in terms of like, defensive positioning or making the right reads on offense, not turn the ball over. So I think just critiquing, like if I just pause it, I need to critique something I'm doing like on a defense possession. If I'm out of position, I need to fix that, fix my stance, have my arms out, pressure in the ball, like just little stuff like that. And I would say I'm mostly focused on like defense positioning right now, like being in help, being in the gaps. And then on offense, I would also say like the footwork. Like if I'm watching a shooter, I like to watch his footwork and like how he moves off the ball. What crevices is he looking for to get on the court? If his guard is driving baseline, where he tries to find open opportunities at. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it.
When you're self scouting, which is a different type of film, what areas of your game are you watching the most?
I would say my shot preparation. I feel like when I miss a shot, most of the time it's because I wasn't prepared to shoot it or I rushed it. So that's probably the number one thing I look at. And then, like I said earlier, just my defensive positioning. That's really important for me. Growing up, like for Takeover, we had a completely different, defense system than PVI, and then Duke obviously is a different system from PVI and Takeover. So just like trying to, you know, learn as quickly as I can, watching a lot of film, watching other players, other players on my team or other players like from previous years, how they picked it up, what positions were they in, just trying to like pick everything up as quick as I can.
How do you prepare for each game the day of? Do you have a specific routine?
I had a routine in high school. I haven't really found my routine here yet because it's a little different. But in high school, if it was an away game and like we didn't have school, like so it was if it was like a weekend game, I would go to my dad's school. Um, Probably put up like my shooting workouts, probably like 200, 300 makes. Um, Stretch before and after, and then listen to some music. Get ready for the game, and then arrive to the game. And then for a home game, it would be the same thing. I would do the same routine. It's usually like 20 form shots from each spot, 5 spots, like 10 to 15 feet out, and then 20 from three, uh, 5 spots, and then 20 pump fake, 2 dribble pull-ups, 20 pump fake, 1 dribble pull-ups each way. I don't know what that amounts to, but whatever that is, that's my routine. So yeah, it's pretty much the same routine, shooting wise, but I think just the timing of it all, you can't really predict because of the time of the game and if it was away, home, school day or not. So
Mm. So speaking on that, let's move into the Duke section. Talk about some of the biggest adjustments in your daily routine and schedule that you've kind of, ironed out here. Your month number like two of being a college student athlete. Talk about that experience.
yeah, I would say at first I was in the gym a lot, like in the mornings and after the workouts because workouts were only like an hour. But now with practices being, as long as they are and the school schedule starting, it's kind of hard to like get in the gym alone. So I kind of had to cut some of that off. But on off days, so we have when we don't have off days, we have school obviously, and then we don't have practice or workout. So I try not to touch a basketball on my off days, which is kind of hard. But I usually just go in there, get my running in on the treadmill. It's like 2 miles, run, walk, on and off, and then that really helps me. I learned like running really opens my game up because the way I play, I need to be in elite shape, and it just makes everything so much easier. So I've been running a lot, and then but I think I've had to cut off some of like the individual work that I've been putting in just because of the schedule. There's not enough time in the day, and there's not enough energy in me honestly to do all this, especially as the season starts to pick up. So you gotta really focus on recovery and like preserving your body.
It's a full-time job at the college level. A lot of people think it's sweet, because you're not in school for 8 or 9 hours a day, but college coaches know that and they fill that time. So,
Yeah.
you talked about growing up a Duke fan, and then Coach K retires, Coach Shire steps in. Talk about, choosing him to be, your coach for the next, 4 years, however long you're there. Talk about why you chose him over other coaches, as well as different institutions and universities, and ending up at Duke. Like, what made that a good fit to you?
Um, I would say he really made an effort when I was like really young to start building a relationship, and I think he was the first high he was the second high major high major coach to text or call my parents or my coach because I was too young at the time, obviously. But yeah, I remember waking up, going. It was my freshman summer, so going into my sophomore year, we had like a summer league game. I think it was DMV Live maybe, and he texted my dad like just introducing himself, and it was like 7 a.m. and my mom like ran in my room and woke me up and was like, "Guess who just text?" And I was like, "Who?" And then she was like, "John Shire," and I was just in shock. But I think just, that really stood out to me because he really made an effort early on to build that relationship, and he didn't wait like some schools. I don't know why, but like they wait a little too long, and then it's too late for some people. So I think that really stood out to me. And then just like the program, obviously it has a history. I obviously dreamed of going to it, and then having the connection with Jeremy and Trevor helped a lot because they had already played for Coach K, but also Coach Shire. He was an assistant for Trevor, and he coached Jeremy for a couple of years as a head coach. And they were telling me great things about him. How much he loves the game, how much film he watches. He's really a student of the game, and that's someone I can really relate with because I'm the same way. So I think just playing for him is I think we have a lot of common that really stood out.
If Duke didn't exist, where would you have gone?
Uh, that's a tough one. I don't know, but yeah, that's a tough one.
I got you. Okay. Talk about some of your interests and hobbies off the court. What are you doing when you're not playing?
Um, I like shopping a lot, like fashion. I'm a sneakerhead, so like I like looking at shoes, checking shoes out, and if I'm not doing that, I'm watching basketball, watching old games, documentaries, stuff like that. Or and I'm not doing that, I'm playing 2K, playing basketball. Like it's just like basketball is like really my life, so it's kind of hard for me to. I picked up Call of Duty a little bit, which is kind of like a twist for me. I've never really played nothing but 2K, but yeah, it's really just basketball, really.
If basketball, it leads perfectly into my next question. If basketball didn't work out for you, God forbid your career ended tomorrow, what would your plan be for the next 30 years?
I would definitely want to be like a coach or uh I want to be a GM one day. That's like if basketball doesn't work out or maybe when I'm retired, that's kind of a dream of mine. So yeah, just staying involved with the game for sure, like being a coach or a GM, assistant coach, helping out any way I can.
One of the best pieces of advice that a trainer gave me, that he tells all of his kids, is, man, when you're in college, take advantage of those opportunities. All the people that own courtside seats do not own courtside seats by accident. Very successful in whatever field they're in. So kind of building that network while you're there. is important. Talk about the team. Talk about the squad, the 2024-2025 Duke Blue Devils. What your outlook as a team is for the season, what it's been like competing against them every day, and what you're looking forward to competing with them every day as well.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is like we're all really big competitors, in our own different ways. Like some of us are more quiet, some of us are really energetic, some of us are vocal leaders, some people lead by example, and I think we also have a really close relationship with everybody. We kind of like all of us are new pretty much. So it was, we have two returners. So all of us kind of made an effort to get close with each other because we knew how special of a group we had talent wise, but we knew if we can't make it work, off the court and just chemistry wise, period, then it won't work out. So we've done a really good job of that. Spending a lot of time together. And I mean, yeah, we have a lot of talent, obviously. I think we're starting to mesh well really together on the court. Practice has been, really competitive because, I don't know, like 11, 12 people are trying to, get minutes. So, and he can't play everybody. So it's been really competitive in a good way. And I think everybody's getting better every day. We're learning a lot. We have a lot of young players. We have some experience. I think the experienced guys like Mason from Purdue has really helped us. Just he's a really vocal guy. He brings a lot of energy. And he's been there before. Like he just played the national championship, less than a year ago. So he knows what it takes to get there. And I think, he's kind of helping out with that.
Hmm. Give me some of your goals for this season, both like individual and team.
Individually, I would just say just get better every day. Learn something new every day. Be a sponge, and make the most out of any opportunity I get. And then as a team, obviously win it all, win the ACC. But as a team, also the same thing. Get better every day. If we do that, I think nothing can stop us.
What's been your happiest moment on a basketball court so far?
Um, I would say probably winning PCM. That was special. Because going into that, that was I was I wanted to win like for the program, not for me or not for like I wanted to win for the program, for my teammates and for the coaches. Like I wanted to see the coaches win. So I think that was really special for me because it was also like obviously my last AU go around. So I made the most out of it for sure.
I'm gonna hit you with some quick hitters real quick because I'm curious on your responses to some of these. What's a game show that you think you could win?
Uh I think me and my family and I could win around the family feud.
I like that. I like that. Invite three basketball minds to a dinner to chop it up with.
Uh I would say Coach K, um, LeBron, and KD,
Next question is gonna be fun. I think I already know your answer. MJ or LeBron?
MJ.
Oh, okay. Talk
Yeah.
about that. Talk about why.
I'm a real big fan of MJ. Just like the way he played. I like watching old school basketball. Like just like I feel like it was way different than now, and it's kind of like a change of speed. So I watch a lot of old school. And then during quarantine, the Last Dance came out, and
Hmm.
I watched that probably like 20 times. Like no joke. I'm a real big fan of how he approaches the game, the work he puts in, and I think 6 rings and not losing the finals is kind of hard to beat.
What if you had to take a charge from Shaq or try to guard KD with the game on the line, which one you picking?
Probably Shaq.
You
Yeah.
taking that charge? Oh man. I'm praying KD misses, man. What's the best dynasty you've seen?
Uh, Other than PVI, the Warriors.
I knew you were gonna go there. Yeah, other than PVI.
Yeah, probably the Warriors.
Okay. Who's an underrated Twitter follow?
Oh, that's a good one. NBA University.
Hmm.
They run a page on like stats and stuff. Sets, actions. I learned a lot from that page.
Okay. It's a great podcast or YouTube series that you're tuned into.
Um, I used to watch JJ Redick's a lot, but obviously he's not doing that no more. And then now I would say I watch a lot of Jeff Teague is really good, really funny too.
Hmm. Nah, he's fantastic, man. What was the first time that you were in a room where you kind of felt like you realized you didn't know anything about basketball compared to the people around you?
Um, uh, I would say like on my official visit here, my first one. Um, I went up to Coach K's office and I just seen all the trophies he had up there and like his accomplishments was kind of crazy. It was kind of surreal.
Okay. What's the hardest shot in basketball?
Um, I would say a dunk because everybody can't do it.
For me, it's that short corner dump off when you get the ball in transition and you don't have the
Oh yeah,
finishing angle
yeah,
of
facts.
the backboard. I can't stand that one. Should hand checking be brought back?
I would say yeah, because I mean most people do it anyway. It's just a matter if the ref calls it, so it's kind of inconsistent. So I would say they should bring it back, and it would like lower the scores of the NBA games, which needs to happen.
Hmm. If you might not have an answer for this, but in what way did Coach Farello and maybe Coach Shire now adjust their coaching style to coach you specifically versus like other players that they've had before or other players on that current team?
I would say Coach Ferrello adjusted it a lot. I think my senior year, like with Pat going out, I think they like we had to go to me a lot to put points up, especially in crunch time. So he really drew up a lot of great sets where I'm coming off the ball, coming off screens. He really had me on the move like naturally. I didn't really have to do much on my own. I was really just, following the screen, following the set he drew up. So, and like before that, we had Deshaun and Doug and Trevor. Like they don't really play off the ball. So he really changed a lot my senior year, and I think it ended up working.
Last two questions, man. What sets the DMV apart from other areas?
Um, I would say I think everybody holds themselves to a really high standard. Like it would be hard for anybody to say like that guy's better than me. Honestly, I think there's a lot of competition. And everybody has respect for each other, but everybody holds themselves to a really high standard. I think it ends up showing on the court.
Hmm. Got one more question for you that I'm gonna save to the end. I'm gonna flip it back on you. Do you have any questions for me?
Uh, what do you think my like my best high school game was? Like you've seen like a lot. You've seen like all 4 years, so
Mm. Yeah, I wish I had prepped for that one. I think man, you messed my Spalding team up. That was not a good
oh
day. I was telling them, listen, man, off the ball, I don't care what happened and who's going to the rim. If you are guarding Darren, you need to be glued to him off the ball. And I think we cut it to six late in the second half there. And because you guys were up double digits at half, and then I think you were up double digits leading into the fourth quarter, we cut it to either six or seven. Cam had a big dunk in transition. CJ scored the layup, and then we came back down, and it was like in slow motion. You were on my side of the court in front of our bench, and like 33 feet out, something like that, caught it, and I'm like, I know it's about to happen. That was that was not super fun to be there for, but I think the other answer would be during Chipotle. I think it was in the semis. You were hitting shots off movement, pull-ups. You got to the rim and dunked. I forget who that was against, but I think you went for
IMG
was it 40 or 30? I forget what it was.
36. Yeah,
36. Yeah. That your highest scoring game of all time?
I had 52 against Riken.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha, gotcha. All right, man. Last question. Really appreciate the time. What is your why? Why do you sacrifice so much? Why do you put so much time into the game? Why does it matter that much to you? What is your why?
I think it's simple. I love it that much. I love, not the fancy parts like the games or the attention, the pictures, the media. I think I love like the process, like getting better every day, watching film. I like the boring stuff, which a lot of people don't like. Getting in the gym alone, like I said, like running on my own. Just like seeing the progression and seeing my improvement really keeps me going. And I think just like my love for it really stands out because that's what keeps me going. Like just I'm always around the game, I always have been, and I don't plan on to stop being around the game. So just making the most of every opportunity I get, not taking a day for granted. Uh, and yeah,
Really appreciate the time, Darren Harris. Look forward to watching you the next couple years. All right.
appreciate you.